thank you guys for coming, and my name is Brady Sleece, and I am a future librarian, and I'm here today to give you guys a book talk on 3 different books. So, let's get started. First the colors, then the humans. That's how I usually see things, or at least how I try. Here is one fact. You're going to die. First, an introduction, a beginning. Where are my manners? I could introduce myself properly, but it's not really necessary. You're going to know me soon enough and well enough, depending on a diverse range of variables. But first, an introduction about why we're here today, or tonight, or whatever the hour, or the color. It's to tell you a story. A story about a girl named Liesl Memminger, a little girl living in Nazi Germany before and during World War II. Some words. An accordionist who is Liesl's foster father and who teaches her how to read. A Jewish fist fighter who's living in Liesl's basement. Some fanatical Germans, and a lot of thievery. I saw The Book Thief 3 times, and each time my job of collecting the dead or the colors couldn't distract me from her. And now I carry around her little journal. It's a story about the human experience and trying to validate it. It's supposed to give you hope. Hope. That's such a rarity in my line of work. Have you guessed who I am now? I am death. And that is from this book. Alright, now I'm going to read a little bit. Death, it comes and beckons you into his darkness. The life you left behind is no life at all. Here you will be king, and I will allow you to die with dignity and age with dignity. And when the time comes, I will send you to sleep, and you'll awaken in a paradise of your own imagining, because every person imagines their own heaven. All I ask in return is that you name the child that's living in your house, so that you can have company here. Name him. Just name him before it's too late. Once upon a time, because that's how all stories should begin, there was a boy named David who lost his mother. David's mother had instilled in him a love of stories, and so to cope with the loss of his mother and the addition, unwelcome, of his father's new lover Rose and his new baby brother Georgie, David loses himself in the fantastic worlds of his stories. The worlds of those old tales, they run parallel to ours, or so David's mother once told him. But sometimes the wall between those worlds will become brittle and fade, and the two worlds start to join together. And that's when the trouble starts, and that's when bad things happen. Soon, David is taken into a fantastic world that's also sinister. It's a mix of his world and the story worlds together. And here he meets the crooked man, who's the only being who can seemingly give David what he wants the most. And that's the return of his dead mother. All the crooked man wants from David is one thing: the name of his new baby brother, his one and only sibling. Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. Siblings. You would think that if you had a sibling, they would be there to have your back, right? Especially if you had an identical twin sister. I mean, you think having an identical twin sister would mean you never have to go anywhere by yourself or do nothing on your own. But no, when you need them most, they're just going to leave you and leave you to fend for yourself because they want to meet new people and become more independent. Well, you would think that going off to college would be enough independence in meeting new people. But not for Ren. She still insisted that we not share a dorm room together. But at least I still have my fans. You see, I am a Simon Snow fanfics writer. And not just any fanfics writer, My fanfics regularly gets like 20,000 hits. You guys have heard of Simon Snow, right? The Simon Snow series? It's like the biggest fantasy novels ever. I mean, it's a cultural phenomena. Simon Snow, he's this orphan, and he gets invited to the Watford School of Magic so he can become a magician, and his roommate's name is Baz, but, oh sorry, I can get really carried away when talking about Simon Snow. Anyway, back to Ren. She thinks college is all about parties and boys and freedom and more boys. But I just be content staying in my room, avoiding everybody, and writing. Because I have to finish my fan fiction before the final Simon Snow book comes out. Because as soon as it comes out, my fan fiction will mean nothing. They say college is all about finding your own identity and discovering yourself, but I don't really know. Who am I going to be without Simon and Ren? And that's right here. And I forgot to mention that the Book Thief just had a movie that's supposed to come out on the 11th, so you guys might want to check that out. And that really concludes this book talk. So, if you guys have any questions, here is a list that includes the books that I talked about, and also some other books that are kind of on the same topics. Do you have any questions? Sound good? Well, thank you guys for coming and listening, and that's all.